What is up, Limp Nation? Welcome to another episode of Olympus versus the Universe. This week we are taking on Count Nefaria. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of my infinitely long series where I play Marvel Champions, a living card game by Fantasy Flight Games, and try to prove that my number one main, Hercules, is capable of taking on every villain in the game. This week we're taking on Count Nefaria, a low-level criminal who has seemingly come across Avengers-level threat powers. But I don't think he stands a chance against the Son of Zeus. So let's dispatch him quickly. We're going to start off with a little bit of setup. Count Nefaria is going to start with a specific attachment and side scheme in play. Ego Made Manifest is going to prevent us from dealing damage to the villain until he has attacked. And Lethal Legion is going to put an elite minion out, setting up a core mechanic of the scenario. Each of the 3 Lethal Legion members is tied to a set-aside modular encounter set, which will only be added to the game upon their defeat. But there's no power in the Marvel Universe that can stand toe-to-toe with Hercules, so I'm not worried at all. I discard the top cards of the deck and find Grey Gargoyle, a low scheme, high damage minion with toughness, victory, and casualty 2, a second hook to the scenario, placing threat onto the cards that have it. My opening hand is Web of Life and Destiny, Wisdom of Athena, Son of Zeus, Lie in Wait, Golden Mace, and the Power in All of Us. I know I want to keep the Web of Life and Destiny and by extension the Power in All of Us because that's going to be a critical pillar of this Web Warrior deck. Additionally, I think that Wisdom of Athena is going to be a powerful card for this scenario, and I think that Lie in Wait could be the answer to minions popping out of that encounter deck. I mulligan my remaining hand away and draw into Aggressive Conditioning and Amadeus Cho. I'm hoping to hit a Protect Humanity as my first labor, which means it's probably smart to use Amadeus Cho as a resource. And additionally, Web of Life and Destiny is so critical to my plan that I don't want to get off focus. I got to get it into play. So let's do that. Lie in Wait. And why not? Aggressive Conditioning. Let's get the Web of Life and Destiny into play. I pull my first labor, which is Defeat the Hydra, which leaves me with an interesting choice. You see, Count Nefaria's scenario calls for running interference as one of the modular encounter sets, which means that Tombstone is a viable target for this effect. Oh, okay. Do we pick Tombstone or do we... Oh, we'd have 15 hit points. My only concern here is that Tombstone's going to have a lot of hit points, and that could be really tough to get through this early in the game. Then again, Hercules bows to no man. Make mine Tombstone. We'll see how this goes. This could be the fatal mistake of the entire scenario. With this quest before me, I choose to attack Tombstone for 3 damage, and then I consider keeping Wisdom of Athena as a really good idea since it represents such a large percentage of my hand. I choose to ditch it and draw a fresh hand of Aggressive Stance, Energy, the Gift of Battle, and SPDR. It's not a perfect hand, but I think that if I use SPDR as immediate card draw, I should be on the right track. On the villain phase, I take an undefended attack for 3, shuffling away Ego Made Manifest. Then I defend against Grey Gargoyle and take a full attack from Tombstone, since it's the same either way. This brings me down to 6 overall. I'm in good condition. I can stabilize from here. And my counter cards are Cunning Distraction, which gives each minion guard, and All Out War, causing each minion to activate against me, defeating me on the first villain phase. What? No. No. What? After composing myself, I clean up the board and start another attempt. I'm not going down like this. My opening hand is the Gift of Battle, Strength, Limitless Stamina, the Gift of Battle, Madam Web, and Build Support. I know that Madam Web is going to be extremely important to my plan, as she's a Web Warrior that does not need another Web Warrior in play, so she's going to be able to unlock everything for us. And additionally, Strength is important because it's a double resource. But I think with everything else going on, I can really only carry over Limitless Stamina through my mulligan. I toss away the rest of my hand and mulligan into the Power in All of Us, Son of Zeus, and Practice Plan. I see so much potential here, but I think the really important thing to keep in mind is we need to handle the Lethal Legion side scheme and the Lethal Legion minion that's about to come into play. This ends up being Whirlwind, a 1 scheme 2 attack elite minion with casualty 3 and retaliate. Normally getting through 6 hit points is going to be a big deal, but that's pretty easy for our boy Hercules. I check my hand and make sure that there ain't nothing that I need to set up before I pull that first labor and decide that we are all clear to pull Protect Humanity. Yes! This searches out Amadeus Cho and sets me up to defend an ally from the villain for the next 3 turns. This has the added effect of also getting me an ally into play for free, who happens to be a card draw engine, possibly the best way to open up a game that we could ask for. First things first, I use Amadeus Cho to draw us a card. Genius. We need to figure out how we're going to be handling Whirlwind, because if we don't handle him right away, Cho is out on the first villain phase. I change to hero form and I play out Madam Web, who lets us see the upcoming Concussive Blast as a future boost card, something I don't need, so I discard it. Madam Web thwarts away Lethal Legion, so we won't have to contend with multiple encounter cards for the next several turns. Then I make an attack against Whirlwind and play Son of Zeus to ready back up and take him out. And yeah, we did miss the Retaliate trigger, so our life points are 1 lower, but I don't think that's going to have any titanic ramifications on the course of this game. This is also our first payoff to the casualty keyword. As the main scheme says, when any minion leaves play, you move all the threat on that character to the main scheme. Keeping it real, Whirlwind should have been placed in the victory display, but when he's defeated, we attach the Jetstream attachment to Count Nefaria, and then shuffle the remaining 4 cards from the encounter set into the encounter deck. Side schemes now gain Insight 1, and after Count Nefaria schemes, he gains a face-down boost card for his next activation. Since we can't damage Nefaria this turn, I elect to play Limitless Stamina and have Hercules remove 1 threat from the main scheme. Seems like a waste, but we only have 4 cards in our hand, so we need to make it as productive as possible. And there we go, we got rewarded with another one. Add another one. Alright. Oh boy, okay. Avengers Mansion is going to be a bit of a stretch at this point. Going into the villain phase, I'm unsure where we'll go with our turn. We drew another copy of Limitless Stamina and Son of Zeus, along with Golden Mace and Avengers Mansion. All signs point to Hercules being exhausted at the end of the villain phase, because we're trying to progress our labor. But are we going to do Limitless Stamina, or are we going to try to stick Avengers Mansion? During the villain phase, I defend for Cho and get away with only taking 1 damage. We shuffle away Ego Made Manifest and draw our encounter card, Chaos Erupting. This adds threat due to Insight 1, then discards the top 3 cards of my deck, adding 2 threat to the side scheme for my printed resources. On my turn, we exhaust Cho to draw into Spider-Man Hobie Brown, significantly shifting my plans for the turn. Getting Hobie into play while Madam Web is still around is imperative if we want to continue the chain. I play out Hobie Brown and use him to clear out Chaos Erupting. This allows me to use Madam Web to thwart down the main scheme. Alright, yeah, pretty quick turn, but at the point when we're doing this, it's kind of going to be a lot of quick turns. Alright, I don't know where I stand with this hand. Limitless Stamina is a good answer to our obligatory defense of Amadeus Cho, but I don't love the idea of burning 2 copies of Lion of Olympus on a turn when we won't get to chain together activations. On the villain phase, I defend again, this time seeing an attack for 1, resulting in 0 damage to Hercules. And my encounter card is Madam Mask, a minion with low casualty, but an immunity to basic attacks. On my turn, I play out 2 copies of Lion of Olympus and Limitless Stamina. Then I face a decision point. Hit Count Nefaria for 5, or do I take this down by 3? I think I hit Count Nefaria for 5. Let's just get him down to 7. Hobie thwarts the main scheme down to 3 and is defeated by consequential damage. This triggers his responsibility, which discards the top 3 cards of the encounter deck and delivers 6 additional damage to Count Nefaria, bringing his first stage down to 1 hit point. This represents a very big gambit, no doubt, because with Hobie not in play, we are locked out of most of the Web Warriors if we happen to draw into them. I ready back up and draw the Power in All of Us, Boot Camp, Wisdom of Athena, and Olympus. We make 1 more defense against an attack for 2, completing our first labor and adding 1 threat to the main scheme via Magia Heavy's boost ability. Then we change to Alter Ego and reveal our first gift, Nemean Lion Skin, granting us 2 additional hit points and steady, along with drawing us 4 cards, Herc's Helmet, Aggressive Stance, Practice Plan, and Web of Life and Destiny. Madam Mask schemes for 1, since we're now in Alter Ego, and my encounter card is All Tied Up. Oh my god, this is going to be so easy. All Tied Up, you are not long for this role. We got a big hand, we can handle this. I play out Olympus and use the generated resource to help pay for All Tied Up. Then I draw my next labor, Embody Pathos. Okay, so now I need to figure out what side scheme are we going to put into play. And after thinking it over, I think I'm going to land on Lethal Legion. First of all, it puts a minion into play. Well, big boy, I can handle that. We got Gift to Athena, we got the Assault keyword. We're going to be opening up that gift like it's Christmas. And our minion is Grey Gargoyle, a threat that I definitely recognize, but I think we are far better prepared for this now than we were last time. Amadeus Cho draws us into another copy of Wisdom of Athena, which I use in combination with a basic thwart for 3 to defeat Lethal Legion and open up my next gift. Get the shield, which gives us an additional hit point, and retaliate 1. Cool. This draws me into Aggressive Stance, Lion Weight, Spider-Woman, and Prince of Power. I like to play out Herc's Helmet, allowing me to take hits better. Then I drop Web of Life and Destiny and Spider-Woman, which allows me to take out the first stage of Count Nefaria. He advances to stage 2, giving future minions Casualty 1 and discarding off the top of the deck for an attachment, finding Ego Made Manifest. Big deal. We weren't going to be putting any more damage on Count Nefaria anyway. But we can have Spider-Woman thwart the main scheme, hopefully holding off an advance one more turn. I ready up and draw energy, SPDR, the Gift of Battle, and Practiced Plan. Count Nefaria attacks me on the villain phase, and I take an undefended attack, but it's only for 2 damage because I've got Herc's helmet. Madam Mask takes out Amadeus Cho, and I defend against the attack from Grey Gargoyle, removing the tough with my Retaliate. My counter card is... oh yeah, because I haven't drawn through my deck yet. Tombstone. He's back from before, if you watch that game. I play out SPDR, and unfortunately I missed the Spider-Woman response trigger, but I quickly use the basic ally to thwart the main scheme and at least play due to consequential damage, drawing me into the last card of my deck, Lie in Wait. I shuffle up and I play out Lie in Wait. I was paying with Practice Plan, but I put it into play for some reason. I don't know, I'm probably a himbo. I use Gift of Battle to deliver 5 damage to Count Nefaria and switched Alter Ego. I realize as I'm cleaning up at the end of my turn that I never activated Spider-Woman, so I get 2 more damage in, bringing Count Nefaria to 8 hit points. Finally ready to move forward, I draw Build Support, Son of Zeus, Lion of Olympus, Amadeus Cho, Spider-Man, and SPDR. Count Nefaria schemes for 3, pushing us to the second main scheme. And now we've accrued another acceleration icon. So now minions come into play with a damage on them, which is really just more there for flavor. And when a minion leaves play, Count Nefaria heals damage equal to the threat on them. So we are kind of up against it a little bit here. After accounting for the minion scheming, we've hit 6 of 12 on the main scheme, and we draw our encounter card, hitting 2 surges before landing on Shadow of the Past. Man, eagle-eyed viewers probably noticed I failed to do an encounter card from when I decked myself. But you know what? This game is complicated, so we're just going to try to do better next time. We put out our required nemesis and side scheme into play, then change the hero form and map out our turn. We got 5 damage here, so let's boost ourselves. Let's just grease the wheels a little bit. Spider takes 1 damage from Spider-Woman, swings for 4, brings him down to 3. Yeah, I mean, it's all 2, 3. And we defeat Count Nefaria. All right, we did it. We won the game. That's awesome. We are incredible. So I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, real talk. So I will be at Con of Heroes 2026. I will bring Count Nefaria so that I can get as many games in as possible with him. I look forward to anybody that happens to join me. And yeah, have a great day. You're doing great. Keep it up.